Hello everybody and welcome to the TARDIS Zone. Doctor Who magazine is one bad month away from cancellation is the headline of the video. The first issue of Doctor Who magazine was published on the 11th of October 1979, the year I was born. I was born in June. It began life as a weekly publication with a cover price of just 12p. Created as the perfect accompaniment for fans of the BBC One primetime show. Featuring exclusive interviews with doctors, companions, and even some monsters, the magazine included comic strips, features, news, and interviews. Among the buyers of issue 1 were an 8-year-old David Tennant, 16-year-old Russell T. Davies, and 17-year-old Stephen Moffat. All of them have been reading the magazine ever since. And now it is under threat, folks. Doctor Who magazine is one bad month away, according to me sources. Eddie has also put up a post about Doctor Who magazine. A lot of fans have also seen the following, which I will share now and show you. There are some telling signs. Last year, we had some of the contributors to the magazine asking people to subscribe to the magazine as it was losing money. Now, the early days of the pandemic was the excuse, but in reality, the shopping malls have been open. I mean, the food places, they do have magazine stands and they do sell the magazine. Also, people can get an online subscription. So there is no excuse. But this is what has been posted by Doctor Who magazine. Save 25%. Get a 6-month subscription to Doctor Who magazine for £32. And then they have a redeem offer. And there it is there. Now, if we go very quickly, because there's a few videos here, I just want to breeze through them very quickly and just show you. Right, so that's that one. Hold on, I might be going a bit too fast. There you go. Get over 50% off an annual digital subscription, Doctor Who magazine, now with over 50% off. Doctor Who magazine is in dire straits because of one simple fact, folks. Chris Chibnall has ran the show into the ground. Also, you will find that the magazine is not as balanced as it used to be. If you were to read the magazine, you would think that the current era of Doctor Who was perfect. The magazine also does what the show does and panders to a certain group. certain minority on Twitter. Again, there's not enough of those supporters to buy this magazine, or they're unwilling to buy this magazine. The bottom line is the magazine has lost its way. As I suggested, the magazine needs a complete overhaul of everybody that works on it, because you don't have a balance there, unfortunately. See, the good thing about the magazine was, as I said, there's all of those things that little piece that I read at the start had. But another thing that they had in the magazine was fan opinion. And fan opinion is very important. But unfortunately, the magazine refuses point blankly. And we have seen that past contributors to the magazine have openly attacked fans for their views on this era. And that is unacceptable. Their job is to put out a great magazine, and it must be balanced because it has to appeal to everybody. But like the show, it only appeals to a certain group or a certain minority out there, and the hell with the fans seems to be the attitude. Now, as I said, this magazine has been around since 1979. So it's the same age as myself. And I have to be honest, this magazine obviously survived the 80s. But it's not going to survive the Chris Chibnall era if people don't subscribe to the magazine. Now, I'm not going to directly tell you all to subscribe to the magazine, but I will say that it's a very important part of Doctor Who, and it's part of the history. And all of those people that have worked on it in the past, it would be a shame to see it all go under. BBC really have to start opening their eyes now. As I said, merchandise sales down. Now we've got Doctor Who magazine struggling. We see with the Doctor Who annual, for the first time ever, they didn't feature the current Doctor. So, I mean, the ratings of the show continue to go down. I mean, all of these would be warning signs for any other, well, maybe not today, but in the past, these all would have been warning signs. And there would have been steps taken to continue, to make sure that this didn't continue. But unfortunately, it looks like to me on the outside that BBC, the magazine, Big Finish, all of these are everything connected to Doctor Who. They want to push an agenda and a certain narrative, and it hasn't worked, but they continue to do that. For God's sake, does the magazine have to go under for you guys to open your eyes? Like, we've been telling you what the problems have been for the past 3 years. Your biggest issue that you have a showrunner who's clueless, who has alienated most of the fandom. He's doing things to canon that he shouldn't be doing. No other showrunner would even dare go where he's gone. They may have hinted in places, but they'll never go where he's gone. And that has also affected how fans feel about the show. And with the writing so bad, you've got bad storylines, you've got bad plots, You've got bad character development. And it's just like, how bad, again, I'll say, how bad does it need to get? The magazine, as I said, is all part of that, and it will be sad to see it go. But Big Finish, Big Finish right now is probably the one out of the mall right now that is doing enough to survive, because they do have that back catalogue as well, which does help them. And they are still producing some good stories in all of the nonsense that's going on, with all these agendas and pushing all these different, you know, narratives. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just do what you always used to do, and get some writers in and a showrunner that can actually write some sci-fi. And maybe the magazine mightn't be struggling. Here's another thing as well. Chris Chibnall will have to take some responsibility, not just because he runs the show and he's run it into the ground, but he hasn't been too kind to that magazine in the last few years. He's been very stingy. The magazine used to get some good exclusives. Chris Chibnall likes to keep things close to him, and he very rarely opens up to that magazine. And when he does open up, you hardly get anything out of him. So he hasn't been too kind to that magazine either. And, again, another factor, the reason why the magazine is struggling is because it's aimed at a younger audience. Instead of trying to aim the magazine where it has features for everybody. Now, the latest issue seems to be doing that. They seem to be adding some material for the older audience, but it does seem to be driven and geared towards a more younger audience, and I think that's another failing there as well. The magazine should appeal to everybody, and again, it's another flaw with everybody that is connected to Doctor Who. They don't seem to understand who their audience is, whether it's the magazine or the main show. They just don't seem to understand. And as I said, it's one bad month away from cancellation. And that is just it's absolutely ridiculous that it's being allowed to get this far, to be in. I just don't know how someone within the BBC hasn't been looking at this and saying, here, you mean to tell me that nobody's there and can see all of this, what we can see? So, I mean, the magazine's future is up in the air now. Just like the future of the show seems to be up in the air, if we are to believe the rumours that there are no plans beyond Series 13 and those specials. Of course, we've recently heard about the rumours, the rumour of Ollie Alexander being cast, but of course his agent has come out and dismissed it. And there was a bit of a backlash. Apparently he's gone off social media. If you haven't checked out the last video that was uploaded, I talk about it there. It'll be at the end of this video on one of the end screens there. Check it out and you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, disgraceful behaviour. But again, it's, as I said, when the Whittaker era started with Chibnall, there were people working for that magazine that have moved on since, that openly attacked fans. And again, it's the same thing with Whittaker when she did that stylist video, and she was laughing at fans who didn't like her casting. And she said that she did the first interview and she talked about the male gaze. Again, yeah, the atmosphere and the way things were put across didn't set them up in uh, the right footing with fans, and I don't think they ever had the right attitude. And again, this is another thing that does come across, unfortunately. This production team and anybody connected, they seem to be very cold towards fans that haven't liked this era. Now, whether they think it's rightly so or not, whether they think it's not justified or not, right? It's not their business, and they shouldn't be reacting the way they've reacted and slammed fans the way they have. A lot of fans have walked away because of the behaviour that has gone on. And again, as I said, for me, for the magazine, again, to survive, you know, it needs to be more balanced. Uh, they got rid of a couple of the older fans that used to be part of that magazine. They need to bring some older fans back into the fold, and they also need to bring some fans in, uh, or bring some people in that don't like this era either, because you can pretend all you want that it's all rosy in the garden of roses and that the show is doing great. The reality of the situation, it's not. Now, if me sources are right and the magazine is one bad month away from cancellation, then we are in serious, serious trouble. Then Chris Chibnall has done more damage than we realised. And, you know, it's absolutely disgraceful that he's still allowed to continue to run that show while the magazine, while merchandise sales, while the ratings, the main show itself, plunder and plummet. I just don't get it anymore. I don't get it. Well, listen, let me know what you guys think. I think it's absolutely disgraceful. A magazine that old, as I said, 1979, October, when the first issue came out. And now that magazine, unfortunately, is under threat. It's absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely. And I tell you something, Piers Wenger, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Chris Chibnall, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And everybody else out there that has slated, slammed fans, labelled them, bullied them, harassed them, shame on you as well. This is your work in progress. So I hope you are happy. It's what you wanted. You wanted to destroy the main show. Now everything else connected to it is also being damaged. Merchandise sales, as I said. The magazine, the Doctor Who annual, for the first time in its history, didn't feature the current Doctor. All of these things are signaling one thing, that this era has been a complete and utter failure, and the incompetence of the people within the BBC to allow this to continue is shameful. It's absolutely shameful, and they ought to hang their heads in shame. Seriously, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. I know I keep saying it, but you do. It's absolutely disgraceful. Every single one of you. You have ruined an absolute gem. You don't realise what you have. An absolute gem. And it's about time that the right decisions are made before any more damage is done. Because I'm telling you, the window of opportunity to save all of this from falling apart completely is getting smaller by the minute. You better start making the right decisions, or Doctor Who and everything associated with it will die in the wilderness. It's as simple as that. And that is the reality of the situation. I'm going to leave now. I'm going to say thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys really, really soon. Don't forget to leave a comment, by the way. Let me know what you think. Give your opinions. And also, if you would like to share your memories, if anybody has ever bought a magazine and if it's connected to a certain memory, if you'd like to tell me when you bought and what memory you have of buying that magazine, because it'll be interesting to see. And tell me if you still could currently buy it, or if you stopped buying it and when you stopped buying it, more interestingly. But this is truly, truly a bad sign, folks. We knew it was bad. We knew it was bad. But if the magazine folds right before the show, right, there's no way that BBC can say that it's gonna go past the 60th. It's not even gonna make the 60th. It's done. It's dead in the water. So look, as I said, the window of opportunity, I've been saying this for a few months now. It's closing by the minute. Make the decisions now. Do not be hanging around waiting for Chris Chibnall or whatever you are waiting on. Make the decision now before you lose the magazine, before the Doctor Who annual is gone. You know, as I said, Big Finish will probably be okay out of them all. But the merchandise sales, you know, and as I said, the main show, well, I mean, the ratings have dropped so low, you could spin them all you want. As I said, that's the reality. Right, I'm going to go. I'm going to talk to you very soon. Truly is very sad news if it is the case. Absolutely disgusting if it's being allowed to happen. And remember, it comes from sources. So as we say on the channel, and I will leave with the disclaimer. So have a good one. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.